Hi Year 3, so we're going to do something different this week and we are going to teach you your maths via video. So this week you are looking at equivalent fractions, but before we do that we need to make sure we can remember all we've already learnt about fractions. So fractions are a part of a whole. At the moment this is my whole. So I'm going to split it into fractions and I'm going to split it into 16 parts. Now each of my parts has to be equal. Here we go. Let's check I've got 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So my whole has now been split into my 16 parts and I'm going to colour in one of those parts. I have coloured 1 out of 16. So my fraction is 1/16. On the bar below, this is my whole, and this time I'm going to split it into 8 equal parts. I'm going to colour in one of those 8 parts. The fraction I've coloured in is 1 out of 8. And we would call this an 1/8. The next bar I'm going to split it into 4 equal parts. Colour one in. I've coloured in 1 out of 4. I've coloured in 1/4. And for my bottom bar, this is my whole. I've split it into 2 equal parts and I'm going to colour in one of those parts and I've coloured in 1/2. Now we don't just have to shade one part, we could shade more. So let's go back to my first bar. At the moment, I've shaded 1/16. If I shade another, I've now shaded 2/16. 2 out of my whole 16. And hopefully you can see that my 2/16 is now the same size as my 1/8. This means that 2/16 are equivalent to 1/8. I can do the same with my 1/8. If I colour in another, I've now coloured in 2/8. And it looks the same as my bar below. This means that 2/8 is equivalent to 1/4. And I'm going to do the same with my final bar. Split into quarters, I've coloured in 1, I'm going to colour in another. I've now coloured in 2/4, which is equivalent, the same as 1/2. So we just need to remember that equivalent means the same. Below, I've got 3 different bars. The first is split into 8ths because there are 8 equal pieces. I've then got the next one split into quarters because there are 4 pieces, and halves because there are 2 pieces. My question here says 1/2 is the same as how many quarters? So looking at my halves, let's shade in 1/2. I want to know how many quarters are equivalent, the same size. If I shade 1/4, 2/4, they're the same. So 1/2 equals 2/4. My next question is looking at 3/4. At the moment, I've only shaded 2. So I'm going to shade another. I've now shaded in 3/4. And I want to know how many 8ths are equivalent. So 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, and 6/8. They now look the same. 3/4, 1, 2, 3, is equivalent to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6/8. And that's it. That's equivalent fractions. You're looking for fractions that are the same. In your pack, you have a fraction wall. And you can use your fraction wall to find equivalent fractions that will help you. So for example, here's my half, and if I look below, I can see it's the same as 1, 2 quarters because they end at the same point. I can see that my half is also the same as 1, 2, 3 sixths. So when you're doing your work, use your fraction rule to help you. I hope that all makes sense, and good luck with equivalent fractions.